There was one rule everyone believed in. You do not lose a war when you control the skies. You do not lose when your artillery can flatten a hillside in minutes. You do not lose when your enemy has no tanks, no air force, no navy. For generations of American officers, this rule felt unbreakable. It was written into doctrine, reinforced by World War II, proven again in Korea. Industrial power plus superior technology equals victory, always. By the early 1960s, the United States had the most powerful military machine on Earth. Jet aircraft that flew faster than sound. Helicopters that could lift entire platoons out of the jungle in minutes. Artillery that could rain steel from miles away with mathematical precision. And facing them, farmers with rifles, teenagers in black pajamas, guerrillas who vanished into villages and rice paddies. American planners believed the outcome was inevitable. It was not a question of if the war would be won, only how fast. But in 1965, deep in the jungles of Vietnam, one young Marine lieutenant began to realize something terrifying. The rule was wrong, and America did not even understand the war it was fighting. You are Philip Caputo. You are 23 years old, fresh from Quantico, a new second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. You grew up on stories of glory, Normandy, Iwo Jima, Chosin. You believe with absolute certainty that discipline and firepower solve problems, that wars are fought by finding the enemy and destroying him. In March 1965, you land at Da Nang as part of the first major U.S. ground combat units sent to Vietnam. The mission sounds simple. Search and destroy communist guerrillas known as the Viet Cong. You command a rifle platoon, around 40 Marines. Most are barely out of high school. Some still have acne. All of them trust you. The maps say the enemy controls the countryside at night. The briefings say the villagers are neutral or secretly hostile. The intelligence reports say the Viet Cong operate in small units, avoiding decisive battles. What no one explains is this. This war is not about territory. It is not about body counts. It is not even about winning battles. It is about control. Control of villages. Control of loyalty. Control of time. And as you step into the heat and the insects and the green wall of jungle, you face a question no one prepared you for. How do you fight an enemy who refuses to fight you? You move out at dawn. The jungle is wet, thick, alive. Your boots sink into mud with every step. Cicadas scream. The air smells like rot and gun oil. You are told the enemy is nearby. Intelligence estimates a Viet Cong platoon, maybe 30 men. You form a skirmish line, spacing 5 meters between Marines, weapons ready. Nothing happens. No shots, no movement, no enemy. Hours pass. The sun climbs. Sweat soaks your uniform. Then, a crack. Not a roar, a single rifle shot. A Marine goes down. You hit the dirt, heart hammering. You scan the tree line. Where did it come from? Another shot, then another. You cannot see them. You call for suppressive fire. M16s chatter. Grenades explode. The jungle absorbs everything. Silence. You advance, slowly. 10 meters. 5. Nothing. The Viet Cong are gone. No bodies, no blood trails, no footprints. You report the contact. Enemy casualties? Unknown. Friendly casualties? 1 wounded. The next day, it happens again, and again, and again. The pattern becomes clear. They choose when to fight. They choose where. They choose how long. Sometimes it is one sniper, sometimes a booby trap, a pressure plate, a tripwire, a blast, a scream, a helicopter medvac. You start counting steps, 100, 200. Every step could be the last. You begin to realize the jungle itself is weaponized. Villages look peaceful by day. Children wave. Old men smile. At night, those same villages feed the enemy, hide weapons under floors, provide intelligence. You cannot tell who is who. You detain suspects, interrogate them. They know nothing, or pretend not to. Your superiors demand results, body counts, kill ratios. So you sweep villages, you burn hooches, you destroy rice caches, you call in artillery. Boom, boom, boom. The ground shakes, the hills collapse, but the enemy is not there. They never are. Weeks pass, then months. You win every firefight and lose the war around you. Then comes the order, a night ambush near a village suspected of Viet Cong activity. You set claymores, fields of fire plotted, everyone tense. Midnight, 1 a.m., 2. Footsteps, shadows. You wait. A figure steps into the kill zone. You hesitate. Is he armed? Is he a farmer? A courier? A child? The moment passes. The figure disappears. You realize something that chills you to the bone. The enemy does not need to defeat you. They only need to outlast you. They measure victory in years. You measure it in sorties and statistics. And for the first time, failure feels certain. The war grinds on. Operations get bigger. Bombs get heavier. B-52s drop payloads measured in tons. Napalm turns jungle into firestorms. Yet the Viet Cong adapt. They decentralize further. No headquarters to destroy. No single leader to kill. Cells of 3 to 5 fighters, each independent, each political as much as military. They recruit relentlessly, not with ideology, but with grievances. A bomb kills a family. A village loses crops. A man joins the guerrillas. You see it happen. You patrol the same areas again and again. Every time you leave, the Viet Cong return. You begin to understand their true weapon. They control the narrative. To them, survival is victory. To you, survival without progress is defeat. You rotate home after months of combat. You are alive, but something inside you is broken. America is sending more troops, hundreds of thousands, and you know, deep down, that it will not matter. What American command did not understand was this: guerrilla war is not about defeating armies. It is about eroding will. Every ambush that fails still teaches patience. Every casualty matters more politically than tactically. The Viet Cong and North Vietnamese army absorb losses that would shatter Western forces. They replace men. They replace weapons. But America replaces units, not purpose. By 1968, the Tet Offensive shocks the world. Militarily, the communists lose tens of thousands of fighters. Strategically, they win, because the myth is shattered. The war is not close to ending, and America cannot explain why. Public support collapses. Policy fractures. Eventually, the most powerful military in history withdraws, not because it was defeated on the battlefield, but because it never understood the battlefield at all. Philip Caputo survives the war. He writes A Rumor of War, one of the first honest accounts from the ground. He admits the truth few wanted to hear, that courage was not enough, that firepower was not understanding. Many of the men he served with never came home. They were 18, 19, 20. Today, guerrilla warfare remains the dominant form of conflict worldwide. Vietnam was not an exception, it was a warning. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Philip Caputo and the thousands of young men who fought in Vietnam do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.